Howdy folks, my name is Richie aka Bog Otter here with another Curse of Naxxramas boss guide. We are going to be taking on heroic Patchwerk today, and we're going to be doing so without using any legendaries or epic cards. Alright, what we're going to do here is we're going to make a mage, and here are the cards that are listed here. We've got some freezes in place, we've got a whole bunch of taunts, even the cheapest taunts go in this deck. Fairy dragons because he can't be affected by Patchwerk's hero power. And, you know, the rest of the deck is just about freezing him or surviving a turn. But you're going to understand more why these cards are chosen once we get into a match. So let's get to it. Okay, so the starting hand on this fight is pretty critical. Ultimately, you would like to have a Swamp Ooze in the opening hand, if at all possible. And I'll show you why in a minute. But things like Ice Lance is great. And maybe some one casting cost taunts are alright as well. Stuff to slow him down. Alright, I'm going to keep the Footman and the Ice Lance. Let's see what we get. Alright, a lot of taunt. No Swamp Ooze. Maybe we'll get it on the first draw. So this is how this fight works. He is going to start off every turn going first. He's going to hit you for 8 damage right off the bat. We didn't get the Swamp Ooze. The hook is a Wind Fury weapon. He can use this twice a turn, and when it is destroyed, it comes back into his hand, so he can summon it for 3 mana. That's why we want the Swamp Ooze in the opening hand. We can coin out the Swamp Ooze, destroy this, and then on turn 2, he can't do anything. Now, he has no cards in the deck, so he won't summon any spells, he won't summon any minions. The only other thing he can do is, once he has 4 mana, he can use Hateful Strike to kill one of your minions every turn. So without the ability to use the Swamp Ooze, I'm going to Ice Lance the first turn, which is going to freeze him, which basically does the same thing as the Swamp Ooze would. He can't do anything next turn because he doesn't have enough mana. The reason why you prefer to have the Swamp Ooze over an Ice Lance on turn 1 is because Ice Lance can be used any turn to slow him down, whereas the Ooze really is only effective in the early game. Interesting choice here. I think what we'll do is we'll coin out this Death Lord here. I'm going to do it this turn because once he has 4 mana, he can just use Hateful Strike and destroy this guy instantly. But since he's not going to be able to do that this turn, he will have to spend his entire turn attacking him, and he'll take a little bit of damage in the process. This guy's Death Rattle to put a minion from their deck on the battlefield won't actually do anything because he's got no minions in the deck. So that's pretty effective use of Death Lord on that turn, turn 3. Okay, so at some point, I think what we're going to do here is bring out our Fairy Dragon. Now, we're going to take 8 damage this turn as a result, but this is how we're going to actually do damage. He can't use his hero power on the Fairy Dragon, and so he won't attack it. He'll just attack my face, and so we'll actually have something on the board to hit him for 3 every turn. The reason why I'm not going to put a Goldshire Footman down at the same time is because he'll just use the hero power on it and just destroy it, and it'll just kind of waste it. At this point, we need to put out 2 taunts at the same time in order for it to actually do anything. We can just Ice Lance, and I'm going to use the Ice Barrier, which will help us next turn. And he can't use his hero power, so basically he does nothing this turn. Can't use the hero power on the Fairy Dragon. We have an Ice Barrier in place, so that'll stop a lot of the damage. But I'm going to actually put out a Mirror Image, which will get 2 things out. And I'm actually going to put down a Goldshire Footman and the Silverback. We'll just load the board with a lot of taunts. And he won't be able to trigger this Ice Barrier this turn. As he works his way through the taunts. Okay, this turn we can do another 3. Trying to decide whether or not to just ping or bring out the Shield Bearer. Does it matter? Yeah, I can make it so he can't trigger. He can't trigger this Ice Barrier for another turn. He's going to destroy 1 and kill 2. Alright, we're out of cards now. Things get a little crazy. Good news is we can freeze him completely this turn, so he does nothing. Hey, look at that. Gonna do the same thing again. Freeze him. Ping. This is where it gets fun. Alright, the footman. Now he's finally gonna get through. So there's no sense putting the footman down. Like I said before, all he would do is Hateful Strike it and still hit me twice, so it doesn't actually do anything until I get a second taunt. So I'll attack, ping, pass the turn. He's finally going to break through that ice barrier. Okay, we don't take any damage this turn. Well, we take the armor that we just got. Hey, there's our other ice barrier. Nice. So we will ice barrier. Do 3 and ping. Okay, again, he's going to do no damage. And this is how all these games go. I've beaten this several times with this deck, and they're always like this hairy kind of like you're relying on the next card thing. But most of the cards in the deck actually have an impact in some way, shape, or form. Unfortunately, the Swamp Ooze right there is not very impactful. No, not at all. We're going to put him down anyway, even though it's pretty much just going to die. Gonna die, and the reason why the Swamp Ooze doesn't do much is because he's got 10 mana now, and he can easily just summon his weapon again and still use his hero power. So that really doesn't do anything there. Okay, now we're down to really needing to pull an answer here. That, unfortunately, is not it. As I'm editing the footage, I realized that if I played the Goldshire Footman along with the Swamp Ooze, then he would have used the hero power on the taunt creature, and it would have left me with the Fairy Dragon and the Swamp Ooze on the board for this turn, so I could have done 6 damage. I'm going to keep the footage in here of this loss, because I think it does illustrate how well the deck can work and what are some of the strategies and thoughts behind the moves you make, but I am going to include another match after this so you can actually see it with an actual win. Alright, so let's get into the next game and see how that goes. Okay, you guys are old pros with this fight now, so I could just get right into it and not have to explain so much. So I'm gonna keep the 2 Ice Lances. We'll see what else we get. Swamp Ooze Fairy Dragon would be great. Oh, okay, Swamp Ooze Goldshire Footman. I'll take it. Alright, Ice Lance and the Swamp Ooze, they basically give you a free turn, but the Swamp Ooze only works right in the beginning. So I'm glad we have one in our opening hand. The Shield Bearer and the Footman can come in handy if we get a water elemental. So we'll start with the Ooze. And we got a free turn. And we will freeze him. Gives us another free turn. We will save the life of the Swamp Ooze. Okay, we're going to take 4 damage this turn. Water Elemental! No, it's totally not a Water Elemental. Alright, so this turn we're going to put out the Ice Barrier. Gotta keep that in case we get the elemental. Let's freeze him. Okay, we lose our Ooze. Poor Ooze. That's why you kind of want to have a Fairy Dragon out by now, because then you can just consistently be hitting him every turn, because right now I'm not going to be doing any damage to him. Okay, we don't want to put a taunt out just by itself, because he'll just use the Hateful Strike on it and kill it. So that's why I'm saving these things in my hand. Okay, there's the Water Elemental. Now, if we can pull this off, What we're trying to do is not have the water elemental die by this hateful strike on the first turn. And if we can pull this off, if he actually uses his hero power to kill a taunt, which he does, now we have the water elemental on our side, and we can freeze him each turn. So we can do 3 damage and freeze. Alright, now, how do we keep this water elemental alive when he's got this hero power? Well, we just summon a taunt creature, a nice tasty taunt creature, and make it so he wants to kill that instead. There we go. And now we have the water elemental alive again. So he can't use his weapon. We'll put out a nice juicy taunt creature. I'm actually going to put out the swamp ooze too, because we got to speed up the damage in case I don't get another taunt creature next turn. And we'll end turn. He will kill the taunt here. Let's see what we get. Hey, it's another taunt. Yay! Okay, he's got the taunt up. And now we're going to do 6 damage, 7 damage. And again, he can't resist these taunt creatures, even though it's the frost element, the water elemental that's killing him. Alright, so... we didn't get a taunt. Maybe he will choose the swamp ooze. Not likely. We'll put the ice barrier down now. Ping him for 1. Let's see what he picks. No. Finally gets rid of the water elemental. So now we're vulnerable. We do have the frostbolt. So that'll give us another turn without the weapon. But we are going to lose the swamp ooze. Unless we put out the bear. Okay, bear is dead. I think we have this no matter what. Because we will live 1 more turn. And then we can just shoot him in the face. So that water elemental combo is what gave us the win. You want to play your water elemental when you actually have other taunts up. At least 2 taunts up. So that he will use his hero power on one of the taunts rather than the water elemental. And that is how you do it. Heroic Patchwerk without using any legendaries or epics. So here's the deck one more time for those of you who are interested in trying to craft it yourself. You're not going to be able to beat it every time on the first attempt. It does take some practice. I probably beat it about 4 times out of 12 matches. So if I can do it, you can do it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I'd appreciate you going down there and hitting that like button before you go and subscribing to the channel so you can be notified when I release future videos. Hope everybody has a fantastic day and I'll see you next time.